Hey, what's up, YouTube? I just thought I'd do another quick video. Did one earlier about, buying the parts and everything for a press, about buying the press itself. I've had a few people ask me, if I could kind of run over, how it all works. So, of course, the first thing you gotta have your rounds, your brass, digital scale that measures in grains, calipers, your powder, and your primers. So anyways, the way this works is your first station here will resize back to the factory, your brass, and will knock out your primer pocket there. So when you come up, you'll have your case in there. It'll deprime it. Right here, you would reprime it. Then on the downstroke, it would seat your primer. Then on the next position, it would throw your powder charge and flare your case a little bit. And then on the next one, you'd put your round on top of your case, and it would seat it, and then it would crimp it. So, and that's all there is to it. I'll show you how it works with some actual brass in it. We'll make a round here. So, start out with your brass. Stick your brass in there. It knocks the primer out. Your old primer goes right there. You put the new primer on right there. On the downstroke, you'll seat the primer right there. On the upstroke, it will flare and drop your powder charge. It'll spin it around. You'll get your round. You'll stick your round right there. It'll seat your bullet, and then it comes around and crimps your bullet. You shouldn't have a lot of power, It shouldn't take a lot to actually, crimp it or anything. I'm putting a lot of pressure on it right there, and it's not moving at all. It's the only way you can do it really is a sync test. You can also measure them. I think these measure 1.15. But it's really simple. Once you get your dies set, I think that was the one thing. That and your powder. You got to figure out if you've got a semi-automatic, what's going to let that thing, or what's going to let that thing chamber correctly. So another thing is, if you're worried about your powder, you can put your brass on there. You can prime it real quick. Then you can take this off. You can turn your scales on. You can zero these out. Put it back on. Put it back on the press. Drop your powder. Take it back off the press, and then you can weigh, and it'll show you how much powder you've dropped. If you're concerned about it, I did like the first couple hundred rounds, and then after that you're like, psh, because it's always 0.1 over, under, or right on. Like say you're throwing 4.8, it's going to throw a 4.9, a 4.8, or a 4.7, and it pretty much gets you pretty close to it. So that seats your bullets, or your bullet, and that crimps it. So, but it's a really easy process. But I just thought I'd share. Y'all take it easy.